Spain is one of the most visited countries in the world, but there's a part almost no one talks about. It's not packed with tourists, it's not covered in beach resorts, and it looks nothing like the Spain you think you know. This is Asturias, and here's why it might be the most underrated place in the entire country. Let's start with Oviedo, the capital of Asturias. It's not flashy, it doesn't try to impress, but it has something a lot of cities have lost: authenticity. The streets are clean and full of life, but in a calm, grounded way. Cafes spill out into little squares, locals chat over coffee or cider, and there's a rhythm to the city that feels lived in, not designed for tourists. In the old town, you'll find medieval churches, covered markets, and sculpture-lined streets. There's no need to rush. This is the kind of place where you wander without a plan and still end up seeing something beautiful. One of the highlights sits just outside the city, Santa Maria del Naranco. It's a 9th century stone church built on a hill overlooking the city. Simple, solid, and surprisingly moving. Not because it's big or dramatic, but because it's been there for over 1,000 years, quietly watching over everything. Oviedo feels like it belongs to its people, and that's what makes it special. Just 30 minutes north of Oviedo is Gijón, a coastal city that blends old-school charm with seaside energy. It's right on the Bay of Biscay, and the moment you arrive, you can feel the difference. The air smells like salt and grilled seafood. The breeze rolls in off the water, and the pace slows down even more. Locals walk the long waterfront promenade in the evenings, kids play on the wide sandy beach, and there's always someone with a surfboard heading into the waves at Playa del Silencio. But this isn't some sleepy fishing town. Gijón has history, art, music, and plenty of great food. What it doesn't have is the tourist chaos that fills up so many beach cities in southern Spain. There's no big checklist of attractions here. It's more about the feeling. A morning market, a slow lunch by the water, a walk through the old town, and maybe a glass of cider before the sun goes down. It's relaxed, it's real, and it's exactly the kind of summer escape most people are looking for, whether they know it or not. There's charming, and then there's Cudillero. This little fishing village looks like it was made for postcards. Colorful houses stacked up the hillside, narrow stone steps winding between buildings, and a small harbor filled with boats. Everything feels tucked in and held close by the cliffs around it. What makes Cudillero special isn't just how it looks, it's how quiet it stays, even in the middle of summer. While bigger towns are full of crowds, here you can still sit at a cafe by the water and feel like time has slowed down. Cudillero is the kind of place where nothing happens fast, and that's exactly why people fall in love with it. When most people think of Spain, they don't picture alpine lakes, snow-capped peaks, or deep rocky gorges. But in Asturias, that's exactly what you get. Picos de Europa National Park is one of the wildest, most beautiful parts of the entire country. It's home to high mountains, deep valleys, and trails that feel like they go on forever. And the best part? It still feels like a secret. One of the most iconic hikes here is the Ruta del Carres, a trail carved into the cliffs above a narrow canyon. It's not too hard, and every step brings jaw-dropping views. On one side, towering walls of rock, on the other, a river far below. These are the kinds of places that make you stop mid-step and just stare. No filters needed, no crowds pushing past, just pure, unfiltered nature. At the foot of the Picos de Europa is Covadonga, one of the most meaningful places in Asturian culture. It's small, quiet, and deeply spiritual. Even if you're not religious, there's a chapel built into the side of a cliff, nestled inside a cave. Below it, a natural spring flows through the rocks, feeding a clear pool. People come here not just to visit, but to pause. Just above, on a nearby hill, sits the Basilica of Covadonga, made of pink stone and surrounded by green forest. It's peaceful, and it doesn't feel grand in the way big cathedrals do. It feels grounded, simple, powerful in a different way. Covadonga isn't loud about its beauty. It doesn't need to be. The silence is part of the experience. Moving east along the coast, two towns stand out, Llanes and Ribadesella. Both are small, full of character, and surrounded by nature. Llanes has medieval walls, a tiny old quarter, and beaches that look like they belong in the Caribbean, if the Caribbean had cliffs and green mountains behind it. There are dozens of little coves along this stretch of coast, each with clear water and hardly any people. There's also a strong surf culture here. Locals ride waves in the early morning, and by afternoon, they're eating fresh fish by the water or relaxing in cider bars that line the town square. Just a bit further is Ribadesella, where a river meets the sea. The town feels calm and open, with pastel buildings, riverside cafes, and a soft, easy rhythm. There's history too, like the nearby Tito Bustillo Cave, filled with ancient cave art that's over 30,000 years old. Together, Llanes and Ribadesella show off a quieter, cooler side of the Spanish coast, one that hasn't been taken over by big hotels or mass tourism. If there's one beach that really captures the spirit of Asturias, it's Playa del Silencio. The name says it all, Beach of Silence. Tucked at the base of high cliffs, this beach is wild, peaceful, and completely unspoiled. The water is deep blue, the rocks are sharp and dramatic, and there is no noise, just the wind and the waves. It's not the easiest place to reach. You have to walk down a steep path to get there, but when you finally step onto the shore, it's more than worth it. This is the kind of beach you remember, not because it was packed with things to do, but because it gave you space to do nothing. For those who want the true wild side of Asturias, Somiedo Natural Park is the place. Tucked into the southwestern corner of the region, it's a protected area filled with steep valleys, hidden lakes, and dense forests. This is bear country, literally. Somiedo is home to one of the last populations of wild brown bears in Western Europe. You might not see one, but just knowing they're there adds a sense of quiet respect to the place. One of the highlights here is Lago del Valle, a glacial lake high in the mountains that can be reached by a beautiful hike starting from the village of Valle del Lago. The water is clear, still, and surrounded by peaks. It's the kind of place where the only sounds are wind, birds, and the crunch of your boots on the trail. Somiedo is untamed but welcoming. A raw slice of Asturias that shows just how much nature this region still protects and how easy it is to escape the noise of the world. And that's Asturias, the part of Spain no one talks about, but everyone should experience. It's green, it's wild, and it stays with you. From cliffside villages to quiet beaches and mountain trails that feel endless. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more travel videos like this.